Hello guys, today we're going to talk about the episode of the two-parter Werewolf Skin Part 1. This one aired on November 22nd, 1997. It has a 7.4 out of 10 overall on IMDb with about 100-ish user votes. It stars Keegan McIntosh, who was in Legends of the Fall, and Nikki it's a hard pronounced name. I think it's Godsini. I hope I got that right. It was and she was in Cube, and it was directed by Ron Oliver, who was involved in Are You Afraid of the Dark show. Now I remember reading the book, and it was pretty good. I'll get more into the book in part 2, but the episode itself, it's kind of intense. It's acted pretty well. It's acted pretty reasonably well. I mean, the bullies are kind of good, but a little bit kind of borderline cheese bad. It's hard to say. But, let me think. And let's see, cinematography, it's pretty nice. I like where it takes place. Now, some people may compare the story to Werewolf of Fever Swamp, and in some ways, it kind of is. Both stories take place in the summer, both kind of take place kind of in the woods, but this one's different in terms of, it's not the typical werewolf stuff. They kind of take some creative edges with how the werewolf comes to be, which I admire. Even in the book, I thought was pretty clever, and the way they show it in the show is pretty good, but specifically on part 1, acting's good, cinematography's good. The score in both parts, but in this one, it's reasonably good. It's intense when it needs to be. It has some guitar-driven stuff, which normally I'm for, but I don't know. I think in this one, it works for the most part, but every once in a while, when a guitar plays, I'm like, okay, this is a moment where there needed to be something else. But that's kind of nitpicky. But it can be intense at sometimes, and there's definitely the mysteries there pretty well. And I'm not gonna lie, it's mostly build up. It's not really till the end of this in part 2. It's kind of like Night of the Living Dummy 3 in that aspect, where they build up and they go more full out in the second parter. And it does a good job, a reasonably good job. Now, flaws of it really, it's really mostly in the fact that it's a more character-driven story starting out, and it's kind of more, I don't know what else. I think a lot of the low score has to do with the fact that Goosebumps, I think, was starting to die down a bit, and I think people looking back just didn't have as much enthusiasm for it. I think that's why it has kind of a low ranking. But as a part 1 goes, it's fine. It's pretty solid, and it's something I check out. I mean, if you're gonna check out if you already checked out the other Goosebumps episodes, this one, there's no reason not to check this one out. Really, anything that's super great about it, I have to say, kind of the acting. The little kid actor is pretty. I like him. He's pretty solid. The parents are pretty good. And, the bullies. One of them just repeats everything after someone else says it. It's kind of monotonous, but it's kind of funny how monotonous it is. You can always count on it. And one time where he tries not to, he gets kind of put in his place. I don't know why it's funny, it just is, but I don't remember if that was in part 1 or part 2, but anyway, atmosphere is actually pretty good, especially at night. And there's definitely mystery, and there's definitely kind of a level of intensity to it. But that's really part 1. Part 1 just kind of starts everything off, and part 2 is when things get a bit more intense. But yeah, that's really part 1 in a nutshell. It's pretty solid. It's kind of impressive in the way of the cast of actors they have for it. Really, it's like I said, it's acted pretty well, and I like the story, but we'll get more on that in the next episode. But yeah, overall, part one's pretty good. Check it out. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the videos, and tune in tomorrow where we'll talk more about it in part two of this two-parter. Have a good day.